Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Council 9's live playthrough of Blades in the Dark. I am your host, Statly, and I will be joined by only 4 of my 6 players today. We're having a little bit of a smaller session on account of homework, on account of the Super Bowl, and just making sure that people are managing the things they need to get done or have fun with on the weekend. So, joining me today, to my above in this direction, we have Bilbo, who will be playing Vidar. Up in this direction, we have Jacob, who will be playing Benjamin. Over in that direction, we have Cobb, who will be playing... we have Cobb, who is being played by Kyle. The K's tripped me up there. And looking for a webcam, not being able to find one for the day. Over here on this side, we see Trevor, who will be playing Cassius.
You can check the VODs, you'll know what I look like.
Yes, if you need to see that. He's in the VODs.
You gotta draw a face in.
We had a hiatus last week on account that I took a trip, so we're back and excited to play. If you were around last week or you just want a recap, I know I'd appreciate one because it was a long session. I'm going to go ahead and run through one real quick. So basically the session started out with the Berth Black Hats needing to procure some supplies. They had basically taken the session before to set up some negotiations with some local factions in the docks, but then they needed to try and get some more supplies to run their hawking side of their business, which is fighting the ghosts of recently dead corpses for people to gamble on. So they decided to go to the Crowsfoot district of Duskfall, which everyone knows who's played this game is constantly in a turf war between 3 different factions. They decided to go there meeting Edric, which is actually Cobb's contact in the Gondoliers, and do a little bit of a ride-along with Griggs, the head whisperer of that faction, and as well as a lampblack they use for protection named Carson. So not shortly after departing on the gondolas, they heard a fight breaking out between some red sashes and some crows. They crept up around. Cobb did some incredible manipulation using the attune skill to heighten the somewhat flashy show of force into an all-out brawl. Which ended up producing a few corpses. Did Cobb kill those people? I don't know. I don't really believe he did, but maybe. They decided to not actually join the fight, but try and stealthily grab some bodies, which they did to some mixed success. Vidar, namely, being able to grab 2, Benjamin being able to grab 1, while the other gang got split. Other half of the gang got split up. The gang had got split at that point with one group of the Berth Black Hats moving through the alleyways, trying to drag 3 corpses and dodging some mysterious threats, while the other one worked through the canals to try and escape after getting a couple more souls. Instead of carrying bodies, that group, consisting of Cobb, Cassius, and Madame Corvus, were actually able to get the spirits into jars rather than moving bodies. A very smart decision on their part to move quickly because they were chased by some sort of supernatural element through the water. Moving forward, they were confronted by 3 Grey Cloaks who were basically trying to chase them down. They seem to be attacking people who are perusing the street without gang protection. At the end of the alleyway where the meet point was, Vidar attempted to make a stand and intimidate the people in a very haunting visage of him completely blood-soaked, holding his driving hammer. Instead, they tried to talk their way out of it. The Grey Cloaks attacked. They were able to deal with the Grey Cloaks pretty easily with some excellent rolls for skirmish on Vidar's part, and scaring off the other ones as well. There was a tense moment after that. Vidar and Cassius had words and some hands were thrown, primarily for the reasons of Vidar knowing that this was a situation to not be solved with words, and Cassius trying to do that anyways. They were able to settle their differences later, though, or maybe not settle their differences, but at least explain their feelings later, and talk a little bit more about yeah, some good character growth. On the way out, though, they were attacked by a massive ghost spirit who claimed his name was Rorik and claimed ownership of the Crowsfoot district. He was almost attacked and killed Vidar and Cormac, right? They were left on the bridge, but they were able to narrowly escape that as well. Running back to the scale with some corpses. During our ICC, our downtime or in-character chat, players worked on improving their skills, indulging their vices to burn off their stress. Some final preparations were finished on the warehouse procured in the first session. So now the warehouse is outfitted with wooden bleachers. It is outfitted with a propped up bar. It has a massive chalkboard, which could be used as a dead pool or to keep track of other various bets. There's also a propped up back office, which doesn't have a ceiling. It's essentially just two walls that are pushed up in the back of the corner for a shade of privacy and maybe to keep the money safe. Which they don't have a safe, so it's literally just Vidar standing in front of a bag of coin. That's what I'm imagining. But
And it works beautifully.
What could be safer?
So simple yet elegant.
what else do we have here? Some barricades to set up around, just wooden barricades. And I mentioned the bar. So that's what the warehouse is outfitted with now. Additionally, happening in episode 2. 3 rooks from Cersei's faction of the Grinders showed up. That was Hugo, Doer, and Louise, siblings who all work for the Grinders to help with muscle. They were tasked by the Berth Black Hats to procure some extra corpses. And between the 6 or 7 that the Hats got in Crowsfoot, the gang, the Grinders, was able to round out the other half with fallen sailors or people who died in a raid or something like that. So giving you guys a nice round 10 corpses for a Fright Night. And that's where we are. Anybody who slept on the scale, you wake up at whatever is morning time for you, without the sun.
When the lamps get lit.
the alchemical electroplasmic lamps light up. Do you guys have lighting on your ship?
Probably like a single light, if anything. I don't
Just
imagine
like one lamp.
Yeah, I imagine.
Just curious.
I imagine there's a couple lamps around. I
Sure.
mean, everybody's got a lamp in their fucking kit, so...
Right.
You can
Right.
claim a heavy load and say I have 9 lamps on.
Oh, you think
Drop
that
'em
that
off.
is a heavy load of lamps?
Yeah.
Feed the sun under my coat.
Vidar opens the
By the
coat.
way, I meant to ask, has anyone gotten another special ability yet?
No, we're getting close, I think.
I was gonna say, we're getting
Yeah.
kind of close.
No,
but-
I hit the 4th sway dot last level.
yeah, I did
so
hit my 3rd prowl dot, which was.
we're getting close on the advancements, so.
Yeah.
Alright,
Excellent.
well, I assume the 3 of you are at the ship right now. I'm
Yeah.
not there yet, though, right now, so.
Alright. Vidar is eating a healthy breakfast of seared eel and
Ben just-
mushroom moonshine, but he is nursing it because it's early.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
a little early to be.
Just to warm up.
No, it is early to be chugging it.
Okay.
I meant to bring up some Never mind. I thought I had neglected a downtime activity, but I'm pretty sure I indulged and trained.
What did you train again?
Resolve. I ticked resolve last session.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, Vidar is having breakfast. Cassius, you were making your way back to the docks at this point, from whence you came. The Owl, right? You were at the Owl. Okay, yeah. So the Owl is a couple districts away, but by this time you've made it over. Traveling in the early morning, it's busy. People are off to work. It's easy to follow a crew of Scav dockers all the way to, almost like filing in line, all moving towards the docks. So it's pretty easy to blend in, especially in a disheveled look that you might have as you saunter over to the Fortunate Scale.
Okay.
And yeah,
Right.
you find yourselves in the same room.
Ben is currently posting up like the little like conspiracy theory wall of just like dots and lines and notepad drawings, trying to figure out any clues that he might have. And
Just pinned to the hole of the scale.
Yeah, basically, just in whatever his little like kitty corner is that he considers his bed space. But when Cassius comes in, hey Cassius, you got a second?
Yes, what is it?
So I got this letter about a day ago, and I've been asking people, and you might have heard me when I asked the Grey Cloaks, but you've lived here longer than anyone else I know. Do you know what this little bee symbol is?
This is a merchant collective, I believe.
Yeah, they said it was the hive or something like that, but that's all I've gotten so far? Do you
Something
know?
of the sorts. I've heard a bit about them, not much though. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I know as much as you do. I know the faces in the city. I don't know their story.
Would you know anyone who might know how to contact them or where they might be or something like that?
Do you want me to make it a consort set? Just consort checks that.
No, you don't need to make a consort check.
Okay.
What you do know is that the merchant district and night market might be a good spot to check out, just because that's where a lot of merchants are. And if you were to go check out a merchant collective, that might be the place to do it. So that's a good place to start. And if you want to roll consort, I can maybe give you some other locations to check out, but just inherently, you know that night market is a good place to go look for the hive.
Alright, I'll roll a consort.
Okay.
Oh, another 4.
Another
The
4.
4.
Thinking about it, you still kind of think that night market's probably the best place to go. There are some merchants there who are a little bit more, I guess, noble in nature. They travel between, they might have multiple locations throughout different districts. That's probably a better place to go than just your average, soothsayer, watchmaker, armorer, baker.
Ben, you would most likely need to try out night market, and if you have no success there, potentially I have some friends in Northhook who might be able to help you. Granted, they're merchants themselves, a little bit more honorable than the ones you might be looking for, but nonetheless, they might be of age.
Alright, well, I'll do that in what little downtime we get nowadays, but thanks for your help. It gets me somewhere at least.
Not a problem. I'm gonna want to step past Ben. I'm gonna hobble over to Vidar. I'm assuming you're at the bar.
Yeah,
She's
she's
at the
yeah.
bar top.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of solemnly walk over. And I'm going to plant a long decorative glass bottle in front of you.
Vidar greets you with a energetic and happy expression. He doesn't appear to have much anger in his eyes, but his mouth is currently full of meat, so he just kind of like, oh.
I brought you a gift, Vidar.
Swallows, washes it down with the drink. Oh, this is it filled with anything, or is it just a bottle?
It's wine.
Oh, okay. Oh, it has been a long time since I have even seen something like this.
Hope for you, a man of your stature and effort, could use a reward every once in a while.
Well, I certainly appreciate the gesture. I hope you understand it in Scarf culture. It's tradition to share the drinks that you gift, so we will have to find some time to do that.
I definitely will partake in that. But it led me to some things that I needed to say to everyone. For the purpose of this, can I assume Cormac and the Madam are also in earshot?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanted at least to pose to the group something. I've had quite an adventurous past 2 days, and I learned a lot. And it's really something that I kind of delved into my psyche and I guess reflected a lot. Something more so I wanted to at least open with that I'm sorry about the other night. It's not that I wanted attention or anything, it's just, when a man is scared, he resorts to what he knows. And he wanted to talk his way out. It's the only way he felt he could protect himself. And sometimes that definitely bites you in the ass and doesn't go the way it wants to. So, yeah, as far as that goes, I definitely went around, bounced my thoughts off some prostitutes at some social clubs. Didn't get the answers I wanted to, but I decided to delve a little deeper and talk to some old friends, we'll say. And I learned a little bit about that. And frankly, you're the first group of people in a while that haven't threatened to cut my tongue out for messing up. So,
I mean, push
Kind
the
of
bar
put
a
me-
little further, and I think he might, but I think you're good for now.
Thanks, Ben.
Nonetheless, I think I tested your limits and it was unwarranted of me. But I hope to see it now that I can learn to foster something here and maybe grow some trust, because if anything, I learned, especially from Cobb's speech the other night, that we do have a lot in common, actually. We're victims in one way or another. We're misfits, outcasts almost from the city, whether it be Cobb and the wretched world of the unknown that come to cast him out, or hell, even Ben's circumstance with finding an important person in his life. We're all victims to a cruel world in one way or another. And the madam is victim to a poor investment, but I'm sure she's been kicked down by anything here and there that we've seen from the city before. But I think that's something that can bring us together, no matter the degree of our plight. It's something that I think we can all revel in. So, what do you say, gents? I think we have some business to keep working with.
I mean, do we even have our next schedule for whatever the hell we're fighting?
Well,
Or is that something we have to set up?
I believe the only thing we have planned is that there is a certain somebody from the Grinders we need to help out, because she has graciously helped us.
Yeah, right. There's another part of it, which is that these things only stay in the bottles so long, and I'm a little worried that, Vidar wanted good, strong fighters, and I think for sure that's what we got out of the Crow's Foot, but that means that, well, we really packed them in there. There's 2 to a bottle right now, and they sort of take up more space as they age. So I think we should do this sort of thing sooner rather than later, or the ghosts are going to come blowing right out of the bottles, and we'll wake up with them round our ears.
Cobb, if you want to roll a tune, I can give you some details, as it were.
I mean,
Roll a tune to not be
don't-
possessed.
Aren't ghosts just made up space? Like, I didn't think they'd actually take up space like a bottle.
No, they're very physical.
Risky standard?
Yeah, that's fine.
Desperate.
Yeah, I told Trevor the new meta is going to be people just asking for desperate checks.
Yeah, it's free XP, man.
Oh, by all means, lower your position. I'd be more than happy to deal with failures on desperate checks. So with a 6, you know almost perfectly that you have about 24 hours for the ones procured in Crow's Foot before that bottle's going to shatter. And you have about 48 for the ones that Hugo, Dewar, and Louise have provided for you.
Yeah, right. It's not that they take up physical space so much as it is about energy. It's like when you're too full of, well, I'm not so. So when you're too full of water and you try to have another drink and it just ends up coming right back out the top, sort of thing. There's too much water in there right now, and in 24 hours it's gonna pop.
Can we just put it in a bigger glass?
I ain't got a bigger glass.
Do you have something you need to do, Ben, that we can't do the Fright night tomorrow?
No, I just didn't know if that was an actual option. I don't know how long these things take to...
Tomorrow's gonna be too late, unfortunately.
My schedule's open tonight, then.
Well, yeah, it's like...
Right, in 24 hours they go pop, and the choice gets made for us. I think if we can get them out tonight and avoid that whole thing.
How much advertising did we do for the first...
Because 24 hours will be like tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
And that seems like, well, as nebulous a concept as morning is,
Yeah.
that seems like not the best time for...
Yes, it will be about
for a
market
Friday.
hour tomorrow when the first 7 break.
Well, but
Sure,
so here,
uh,
how much advertising did we do for the first one? Was it like we just said this and then...
You sent out... Oh, the first one, yeah, you kind of just talked to people that you used to know from the Fortunate Scale project, as well as maybe some friends from your various backgrounds.
Put out an email blast.
This time around, you've got word of mouth working behind you because you've done it once, and then you've got the grinder rooks doing
And
some
Helger.
promotion.
We've
And
got
yes.
Helker and Cersei as well. We tell them we're doing a fright night, and they'll put the word out, surely. Helker wants his cut to be big, and Cersei wants her name to grow, so it's in their best interest for the fright night to be all profitable and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they could be convinced.
So you've already put the grinders to work, at least the 3 that you have, work with. So they don't know when one is, but they're more than willing to do some advertising on your behalf. It's Helker who has kind of just said, like, I'm turning a blind eye to it, and I would expect to see my cut whenever it happens again. So he's not necessarily doing any advertising for you or marketing, but it's an avenue you could pursue.
Hey, out of context question really quick. Oh, I mean, actually, whatever. What is, like, the medicine skill in this game?
For, like, healing, or?
Yeah, for, like, any type of just, like, medical or, like, healing-oriented thing.
Healing's
I'm just
a
curious.
little weird. But let me take a look and see.
I imagine like
Maybe study,
to
yeah.
determine the nature of an illness or injury, and like finesse if
yeah.
you're like stitching and
Okay.
that sort of thing. Maybe.
Yeah, because I was just like realizing there's not like an outright skill for that. I mean, maybe like I'd assume it's study because that's like implying like knowledge about trying to do this, or maybe even tinker. I guess you could argue too is
Sure.
could be used for like making things. So
Does seem like they kind of forgot to
Oh
add
yeah,
that one.
Tinker does seem.
I don't think we've had
appropriate.
anyone make a tinker roll in this game yet. Yeah, I don't think we.
Man's the lead.
Yeah, the leech has yet to do a leech thing. We'll see how it goes.
Well,
Okay, if it's being 100% honest, I didn't realize that you got XP for doing stuff based on the class.
Well, you get XP for a lot of different things. That's just an easy thing to get XP for.
Well, before we go off on our campaign to spread the word of this for the morning, anybody mind helping me out with a bit of an injury?
Oh wait, can we heal?
What
during
type
our...
of injury?
I thought we could only heal
It's
during
just a
downtime.
sprained ankle. I don't mean to get your eyes wide. It's nothing big, but I'd prefer not to walk on it all day.
I thought we could only heal during downtime, completely out of character.
Well, I know. I'm
I think this
asking.
is an RP heal.
Yeah, right. You can
Trauma.
heal. You can only heal during downtime because the only injuries you can sustain are stress or permanent.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Well, there is a leech special ability called Physiker in which you can use Tinker to heal. Actually, so,
Wow.
Ah.
Well, so you tinkle with bones, blood, and bodily humors, or treat wounds.
yeah, or you can
Stabilize
study
the
to
die.
determine a malady.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Interesting. Well,
Well,
nonetheless-
I ain't much good with that sort of thing unless you just want me to rub some dirt on it. So maybe. Well, I mean, Vidar, he served, right? You've been on the battlefield.
Oh,
Surely you must know a thing or two about setting a splint and all that. Sticking someone's guts back up in them.
Oh, I'm not one for guts, but I can do a splint, sure. Learned enough about field medicine during the war.
right, I can try and muster some supplies, but
You probably got it. You could probably.
Yeah, I'm sure
you got
we have
it's
some
cloth.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
that's
really
fine.
need to.
Really all it
you don't have to
is.
just tear a piece of my shirt. You know, to go.
It's much more dramatic that way.
It is true. That is for the impromptu split.
And
when we
the
need to leave
Vidar
somewhere to
X
plan to-
Cassius ship.
Yes,
Dynamic.
yes.
It's-
Despite the fact that I'm working on your ankle, I asked you to remove your shirt.
So yes,
Shirt is
to
on,
be
bird is one.
perfectly clear about this, healing, as in filling the healing clock, is only supposed to happen on downtime.
No, that's
Um,
fine. I was just doing this because I mean it would seem like fitting to just
Sure,
get
yeah,
something.
and,
I
you know-
I don't want like a mechanical benefit out of this.
Okay, sure.
If you're offering. But if you're-
No, I had to. Jacob had a question about healing. One from off of his back channel, ICC. And
Jesus.
I had to. I had to. You're missing out, Kyle. You got to hit me up.
we gotta get in
Or
on
you
some
could
of
just
this
do it on the
back
table like a man.
Cobb just spends his downtime in a morphine-induced stupor.
you got a 6
if
on
I
your last
recall-
morphine. Yeah, Cobb, you feel amazing.
If I recall correctly, Cassius has a cane already, right?
I do.
Okay, all right. So Vidar doesn't, because I was thinking about
Vidar was gonna snap it in half. Like, here's
No,
your
no,
split.
no, no, and it's still snapped in
Yeah,
half.
clean in half. Ah, there's a sword in this. I see.
I've got some extra wraps if that's what you need, but I ain't a doctor.
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, neither is Vidar, but you know, it immobilizes the ankle a little bit, so you know you'll hobble, but you won't be in as much pain.
All right. I at least want something.
What kind of trouble did?
Huh?
What kind of trouble did you get in to end up with that sort of thing?
Altitude.
I assume that means you jumped from a rather high place.
Altitude is not a drug you've ever heard of.
But we are about to make it one.
Yes, I suffered a bit of a fall.
I ain't gonna ask too many questions.
Good,
You
I
suffered a
don't wanna
fall
answer.
while talking to hookers about your feelings.
Like I said, there were some old friends after the party.
I just want.
Are they the kind of old friends that's gonna come round with bats and nails to bust us up?
No, most likely guns, but it's probably fine. Nothing to worry about.
Well, that's much worse.
No, it's not.
Really
I
fine.
just. It's not those type of old friends. It's.
They don't
it
sound
was
like
nothing
friends
crazy.
too much, if you ask me.
Can I
I have
make
friends
like
in
a,
high
a
places.
study
Yes,
check?
you
Is
definitely.
he jesting?
You definitely, yeah. So, yeah, the way that I think this works in my head is that the first person to ask the check basically gets to determine it, right? And then the other person has to choose whether or not they want to resist. So, yeah, you can roll study.
Which, by the way, an important thing. If you are
Yeah,
trying
choose to resist it. Take 6 stress.
Yeah, if you're trying
Holy
to
Lord.
stress,
The rocks keep coming.
So, what was
The morphine, it's-
what were you trying to study, Kyle? Run that back for me.
He said it's. I asked about them being dangerous, and he said yes, and then he said he jested. I want to know: is he jesting?
No.
Or is he stating the fact
No.
that he
No.
has dangerous
Yes,
friends in his past?
Cassius, you can roll resistance if you'd like to, shield your intent or shield the, improve the quality.
Take
it will
6 stress?
affect.
But you'll
it
take
will
6
in
stress.
Yeah, and then he'll roll it off.
You can
Jesus
read
Christ.
it. Yeah, you can read it. I don't
Okay,
that's fine.
no, he's not
Expend an
jesting.
armor.
They are dangerous
Clear your
people.
load.
You cannot expend your armor in a role play, in a conversation over resistance.
I can take heavy armor right now. It'll be harder for him to see my face.
Let's set that precedent real quick. You cannot use armor to resist role play effects.
Wins at Cassius, and suddenly he's wearing leather armor.
Unless your armor is. Let me caveat that. Unless your armor is concealing something you're trying to hide. That.
What if I told you there's a slide ability that you can use special armor to deflect suspicion?
Isn't that a thing? Yeah, I'm
There
pretty.
is one.
Yeah, special armor. Yeah,
It doesn't exist.
special armor. I'll allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Special armor is basically luck.
yeah.
Like it's just like an invisible benefit.
Mhm.
Well, I'll see your gaze, Cobb, and at least say, yes, it was unfortunate, but trust me, you're not in any danger.
That's
I'm gonna
true.
trust you on that.
That's true from your study check. He at least believes he's being truthful.
Okay. Sure. I'm gonna trust that you know them best, and I'm also gonna trust that if they do roll up with guns and bats and nails to bust us up, that you can talk us out of it. That's your responsibility. Everybody's got to be responsible for their own shit.
I've known them for some time. I think I should be fine.
Well, we've got a fight to set up then, right?
Sure,
Yes, let's run it.
We should go to the warehouse. Make sure it's all in order.
Okay, so stat.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, for score purposes, how early do you want to cut? Like us planning?
I'm cool with you going on a walk. Stay warm. I would say let's keep role playing at this point. And we could take the score right up until the night it happens.
Okay.
That's how I'm feeling. What are you guys feeling?
I mean, I'm okay with like hand waving our party prep and like being that part of flashbacks and stuff. I think that would be like the fight preps.
It's
I
a
think
small...
we should just run it all over so we all understand what is there and
Yeah,
what
that's
we have
it. We can
available.
go down to the warehouse. Yeah, I'm
Sure.
fine.
I guess
Yeah.
so long as
Yeah.
if everyone here understands that the score today is going to be the Fright Night, Stat can just call it whenever, and we can all be like,
Yeah.
all right, this is the beginning. But
Okay.
I think for us, we should all know what's at the building and what we're planning on doing.
That's true. That's true. All right, so let's make the walk over there.
Sure. You guys walk uninterrupted over
I want to
to.
find a stone and kick it all the way there.
You also rock uninterrupted.
That hits my ankle and I die.
Yep. Cassius does so with the limb.
It turns into a
Cormac, before you leave, hands you the books that you'll be using for tonight. They are sufficiently cooked to ensure profit, regardless of outcome of
Who
fight.
does he hand them to? I want to know which source Sod gets these books and has to deal with his cryptic shorthand.
He hands them to Ben.
Right.
Like the entire hall.
He hands them to Ben.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right.
You can do with them what you want, but
At least Ben can read.
No, this is a good strategy.
he does give them to you.
All right. Got the books. Which...
You just gotta keep your eye on them. That's all.
all right.
Sir.
Right then.
You take off. As you guys walk, you see Hugo, Dewar, and Louise amongst the crowd. They notice you and wave, and then Louise walks up to you and says, "Anything for us?" Chipper, as ever.
Do you want a job tonight?
Well, I want a job every night, and then ale, and then tobacco.
Right. Well, the ale and tobacco can come after the job, but
They always do.
For tonight, we need some people on hands. We've got a fight tonight, and we need to make sure people are not getting rowdy and the grinders are having a good time. Can you see to it?
Well, I sure hope we have a fight. It's been 4 days, and I haven't even heard from you in a while. But yeah, we've got people interested. Have you taken care of those corpses we give you? And she looks at Cobb.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna just kind of chuckle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I've seen Cormac do this. We've got it all right here, and I'm pointing at the books.
Okay.
She looks very confused at the books. The corpses are in the books?
I put
Ben
the
is
books and
also
I just like
confused.
lower the books.
We've got everything contained, but yeah, there shouldn't be any problems long as the fight tonight. We've got it under control.
Okay. We'll tell some people that it's going on. What did you want us to do? She looks back to Cassius.
Well, for the most part, we've got a bit of some formal planning to do. If you want to tag along with us to the warehouse for a bit, we're gonna go ahead and see what we need to get ready for the fight tonight. Nonetheless, I believe you'll be working security. You'll be speaking to Mr. Villadson about that. So nod over to him.
Aye. Fall in, boys. Hugo and Dewar come to attention as well.
Come to attention, they sir.
Well.
They're gonna be bad blood.
They just, were kind of like looking at you, looking back, and now they've all lined up.
Mhm.
All right, come with us.
They fall in tow.
To the warehouse.
All right, you walk upon the warehouse that Chief Helker has designated. Did you guys check this out before, or I can't remember?
I don't think we did. We just got sidetracked.
I
when we
think
were going
I
through
think
it.
Cormac probably did when we
Cormac
got everything
did.
upgraded.
But you haven't seen it yet.
No, I don't think we've done it officially.
Sure, I just didn't know if we needed to describe it. So the warehouse is a 3-story building that is kind of cobbled in between like tenements as well as some other different warehouses that seem to actually be used. People are hauling, goods out, Leviathan blood casks out, barrels, supplies for ships along those lines of different warehouses on the street. It's not in a particularly like It's a total like intersection, right? It's a passerby place, so no one is lingering in this area so much as they're just coming and going from it. Off of the the stone street, you guys walk in from floor to ceiling. There are highly placed alchemical lamps that kind of cast a bluish greenish light in the warehouse. Apart from the things that you've added, it's completely empty, wall to wall. Maybe just some scraps on the ground left over from moving the things in, some rope and some pieces of wood, cloth, things like that. You see that there is in the center an octagonal barricade put up of wood. It looks pathetic. Anybody can knock that over with any certain amount of force. The bleachers stack up, maybe be like 5-6 rows. They're meant to be standing bleachers to Cormac's specifications, so people will be standing on them like it's a high school football game. Is probably what's going to happen. They have pretty good viewership, and like the lights provide a pretty decent glow in the warehouse. In the back corner, you see the the 2 walls propped up as sort of an office. It's kind of hilarious looking because like there's no ceiling over it. But a shred
Like
of
a factory floor office.
right,
kind of
exactly.
thing, right?
It's just drywall propped up with a door.
Yep.
So it's pretty funny. Additionally, you have your bar there, and then you also have the chalkboard that is hanging over the bar, propped up on the wall. It's pretty good size. And there's a couple pieces of chalk on the bar. And there you have it. The Berth Black Hats Fright Night Warehouse.
Maybe we have a bring your own chair policy tonight.
Well, there's enough space between the barricades and the bleachers to have standing room by design. So the people on the bleachers is really just so they can sort of see over the pit of people.
Well, those cost extra.
Those are luxury seats.
It's already built into Cormac's ticketing system. In the book.
Yes,
Yes,
of course,
the-
of course.
The books.
The upcharge.
Books. It's all in. This is the part where you point at the
Yeah.
book and
Yeah.
go. It's all in here.
If Helker was here, he'd be proud.
When you say alchemical lights, does that mean electroplasm?
Yes, they are run through electroplasm,
Don't blow them up.
assumingly from the
Do-
city grid.
Do I?
They're lights, they have to explode. That's what they do.
Does that seem like it might be an issue with all the ghost field energy that's likely to be flying around in here?
Not at the level of having a fight in a Leviathan boneyard would be.
Okay.
But there could be some risks. It definitely catches your eye as you walk in to think that
What is the warehouse made of?
Brick,
Don't
mortar.
say wood. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say
Not
Say
wood.
wood.
Don't say wood.
No, brick and mortar.
Fire in a theater.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like my only concern. I mean, I assume like if the ghosts flare up, they might like pop or go out or something.
It'd be
but
insane. Everyone just freaks
Well,
out.
a little bit of flickering might even be good for the show. The people
Yeah.
they pay for an experience.
well, we'll charge them more if it happens.
Well,
Anyways.
sometimes when the ghosts fight and collide, right, they create lights of their own. So if we have the lights a little dimmer, it'll heighten the experience. I once saw a night raid with a banshee and a bunch of other ghosts, and it looked like the aurora lights in the sky, except on the ground and with lots of blood.
That is quite the depiction. Look forward to something like that, but
Yeah, I hope none of our fights ever go that way.
It would be very entertaining.
The question about lamps sort of segues nicely into something else that you notice, Cobb. There's very few occult protection here. You'll want to trace some black salt, probably. You'll want to try and do some other things to try and take care of what's about to happen. You're dealing with a lot stronger ghosts, most likely this time around.
Oh, yeah.
And you're also dealing with a larger crowd, which will place off an aura. And this is all, you don't really need to roll for any of this information. This is just sort of part of your job, is this type of thing. So you just notice it.
okay.
I wanna, assumingly we're going to be taking the money at the front, right? So I wanna, Vidar takes a time with the rooks to go over that area and do like operational security sweep, just like double check all the ins, outs, where they're gonna take people's overt weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah, is
store
there a
them,
place that we can
So,
store that?
yeah,
little
see-
things like that.
Yeah, you've got a sort of a stable door type situation going on here. Metal doors that you
Big
can
shutters.
fling out. Yep, tall
Yeah.
doors so you can roll out carts and things like that. Might be a good way to let people in, but it also is huge. You've also got just some side doors. There's another like big-ish door, but not as big as the entry one towards the back, presumably to take in cargo from either side of the warehouse. That's kind of a security risk as well.
Do the doors go in or out?
They open out into the
Out.
street.
Okay, so they can't come in at all.
No, not on these hinges.
Okay. I want to go outside, and I want to set like bricks or blocks onto the ground so that the doors can only open wide enough for one person to come in. And with my hammer, I want to drive those in so like they're really difficult to get in. So if the blue coats come in, they got to come in one at a time.
Bottleneck.
One at a time. That's all I ask.
Well, and
One
that
at a
makes sure that we
time.
get everyone's coin as well.
Yes. Yeah. So you guys watch Vidar fling these doors open and catch them almost as immediately as he throws them open. And you can get some metal rods, I'd say. I don't know if there's any loose bricks lying around, but metal rods would do the trick just fine. And start driving them into concrete. Roll fortune.
I'm writing down loose.
Do I
bricks for
hit
later.
buried treasure? How many dice?
2 dice.
2 dice.
Oh no.
Not terrible.
With a 3, people give you some weird looks as they walk by. A mother grabs her child and pulls him a little closer.
Every time they do, I stop and I point inside and I go, "There's a fright night tonight." And that's it. And then I go back. And then someone else will go, "Oh, there's going to be a fright night tonight."
Right. You pick the corners carefully in between the bricks in the street, and you start driving metal spikes through them. It takes you a good, it's not easy. You're punching metal through concrete, but you're a strong guy. You get it done in a few minutes. Anybody else would like to do anything to check out, or any other questions as Vidar pings away with the same hammer he removed the head with not 3 days ago?
Now, I know this might not be the most popular request, but I don't think that we should have alcohol tonight. I know it makes people spend their coin, and but here's the thing. Here's the thing. These ghosts are a lot stronger than the first time we did the fight, and even then, it was all I could do to keep everything under control. I expect it'll be harder tonight, and alcohol means emotional people, and strong emotions makes it harder to do my job. And there might even be, a physical dust-up or something to deal with. So I just... It could complicate things, is all I'm saying.
Right, well, I guess I can spin a story that our shipments aren't in yet, and they don't arrive till the next Fright Night. It'll sow some excitement for the next one.
Sure. If everything works out perfectly tonight, no problems at all, then maybe we can have some shine at the next one. But one step at a time sort of thing.
I get where you're watching a fight, so seeing it, the violence play out is a lot different than watching it drunk, and you might turn some stomachs if they don't have shine in them to keep them settled,
If
and that might be bad for business.
If you're controlling the odds, isn't that just like a rigged fight?
We're not controlling the odds.
Well, he said he's controlling the ghosts.
He's keeping them from killing all of us.
Right, I ain't controlling the ghosts so much as I am the space around them to stop them from getting out.
Right. So since you are, to your point, Ben, since you guys are running a gambit that no one's really familiar with, it's sort of easy for you at this point to set up fights that you know are just going to win, like picking, like a lower tier, ghost and propping up against a larger tier ghost and just saying, like, it's a fair fight, and you kind of know the result. Cobb can also manipulate the fights, as can any other attuned, trained person in the crowd.
So fight odds are always set so the house wins. It's not so much that the fight is fixed. You just like adjust how much
odds,
each
yes.
bet pays off, so that like no matter what, you're always paying out less than half of what you brought
That's currently what Cormac has cooked for you, effectively.
Right.
So rigging the fight versus just cooking the books. You know.
Yeah.
Quick question: are there open container laws in Duskwall?
Absolutely not.
It's encouraged.
All right. Well, maybe we can booze them in the parking lot. Don't get anything in there.
Yeah, so that brings up a question. I think it would be fair to say to all of you that it brings up a question of, will you stop people from bringing alcohol in if you're not serving alcohol?
So
I don't
why
think we
don't
should.
why don't we do this, right? We open, an hour early and we let people drink and pay their money then, but the moment the fight starts, the bar shuts down.
Maybe that's an option. I mean, I think.
Look, I've watched a lot of men die sober, and it's more entertaining when you're drunk. I'm just going to tell you that right
Louise
now.
laughs at your joke.
It's just I pointed her to make. See,
I wholeheartedly trust you, but I think we can compromise a little bit here. We need some flames, but Cobb doesn't want to pour kerosene on it, but I don't think we should stomp it out completely, alright? Let him booze up, let him come in, but don't sell anything more than we need to. Just
Sure. All I'm saying is that a crowd of drunks will make it harder for me to keep the ghosts in the circle. If they get out, I can keep them away from me. You will all be on your own. So.
Alright, and I'll be the first one to die with this leg. Anyways. I think we have security. We have security. We can keep an eye on people. If they're too rowdy, we'll ask them to leave.
we won't be asking.
Well, we'll
We
ask.
won't be doing that
We'll
either.
ask once.
Oh.
We'll ask.
Can't kill your customers.
They deserve the courtesy for one.
So
And then
we are gonna allow drinking. We're just gonna be very strictly enforcing a behavioral policy.
Yeah.
I think stopping it once the fights start is the best option.
Yeah.
Because that's when the emotions are going to ramp.
Is there a like perch or anything in the warehouse or no?
No.
Okay.
Besides the
there's not like
bleachers.
scaffolding or like anything.
Nope. It basically got stripped clean when Helker moved his assets out for you, or whenever he took possession of the warehouse. And it's just floor to ceiling with some lamps is what you guys started with.
Right, maybe we look into some catwalks.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that would be another downtime activity, I would say,
Yeah.
to try and install something like that. It's a little more elaborate than just hauling in some bleachers and some barricades. But yeah, that's definitely a good idea for the future. You could get a ladder and bring it in.
I was just saying I wanted to like maybe get a bird's eye view for like some bonus.
I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, you get a ladder. There's
I'm just gonna get a ladder. I'm just gonna
we
stand
need
in the middle
to-
of the room on a ladder. And,
No,
like,
we need to buy
stop.
some circus stilts and put one of the rooks on them. let him walk around like tall boys.
Yeah,
Hugo
yeah,
looks
totally.
at you and says, shakes his head. I don't do that.
Yet you don't. All right. Nonetheless, I think we've got everything in position. At least, do you want me to go fetch Cersei? I can take someone with me. Otherwise, I guess Vidar, if you want to make sure everything's secure here, and make sure our newfound allies are well trained, and Cobb, if you want to make sure no one dies tonight.
Yeah, I think I need to take some time to make sure all our wards are set up and that sort of thing. That rickety fence ain't gonna keep the ghosts in the ring.
Sure, I was going to tell the rooks to go to the tenements around here and personally tell all the local residents about it and give them like they can show up 10 minutes beforehand to try and get good seats, right? We want to make sure that everyone around us knows that there's no bad blood about what we're doing.
What is the name of the inn or the tavern that we originally talked to the grinders in the first session?
The Charming Dispatch.
Okay. Can I go back there? Because I assume that is a grinder's hideout to some extent, and
It's a docker pub. The grinders are I guess like they just kind of blend in amongst the people. You know, I know they have some of them have their deformities from working with Viathan blood, but there are people who still work with Viathan blood. You know, like so it's like they kind of just blend in almost.
Well, would I be able to find Cersei there?
So that's a good question. Do you make it known that you're going to try and find Cersei?
To like the group?
To the Rooks specifically. Because they would have something to say is basically what I'm going at here.
Probably. I don't really think
Well, they were around in this conversation.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, so they were privy to it.
We don't have any reason to hide our intentions.
Sure, yeah. I just want to be careful with like
Not like we're
what's
gonna kill
what's
Cersei,
private
okay, we got a
information
question.
versus what are you
Yeah,
sharing
no,
with the
they were-
grinders. So they've been privy to everything so far. Is that fair?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So they say, well, you know, Louise steps up and she's like, well, Cersei has plans for today. And it's actually because of you guys. Something going down with the blue coats. She's setting some sort of trap. I don't know. I don't know if you'll be able to find her today. Alas, you know, we can still get the news to her.
Well, will she have time after? How good of a trapper is she?
They look at each other and say, well, probably the best we know. What's a we've never really set a trap before for blue coats. We've only set it for supply lines moving through.
That's a lot like hunting big game, not too far off.
Is her intention to kill these blue coats?
Send a message, more like.
So yes.
Yeah.
Kill and maim.
Louise shrugs.
All right, I will reinforce the facility.
Well, at least we can probably... I mean, where is she? Is there any way I can at least speak to her before she sets off in the Endeavor?
She said, sorry, lad, private information. You know, I might be your rook, but Cersei's still my boss.
I'm pressed for sway here.
You can try.
All right. I'm gonna say, this business is, I mean, definitely much. This business here is a direct result of why that trap could have been set in the first place. I believe we deserve some recognition and respect in that regard. That she knows what's going on here, because without us, this trap she's laying right now never would have been able to happen. So is that risky standard?
Risky limited.
Okay.
Double sixes.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing.
Great success.
We're back online.
Yeah, slide back online. He's been down for one session. Let me get the update. I wish I could just make this update. There we go. Double sixes for the stream. So she considers it, looks to Hugo and Dewar. Dewar says, well, I don't see why we can't bring Cassius. You know, he told us about the blue coat raid anyways. And they're like, okay, fine, Louise says. But if I get in trouble, it's your head. And Hugo's like, well, that's fine. And so they kind of back in, like, come with us. And you wanted to send the Rooks to do something too, Bilbo? Or Vidar?
Yeah, when they get free
Just hit
time,
the tenements up.
I wanted to round to all the local residences and give them
Pubs.
like a 5-minute, head start on getting inside. Not a discount per se, but just to like buy a little goodwill for the fact that what we were about to do tonight.
Elevator pitch.
Sure, yeah, and then after that, station them like around the thoroughfare that we are on, and have them like tell people as they go by.
Sure.
That's sort of my thought. And then Vidar will go through and just he's gonna reinforce that front area, shut off everything else, and then make sure there's a back exit into like an alleyway that they can book out of.
Do you have you know what? We'll use an engagement roll for that. We'll handle that later. For your just general reinforcements. What's up?
Is there an area where like I say kids, but like 13-year-olds
Bring the
hang out? Like,
kids!
is there like a group, like a gang of kids that are known to hang out around?
There are children.
Is there a gang of
Why?
children? Let me answer.
Boy, is
Let me
there
answer.
a gang of kids that hangs around the docks?
Yeah. There are gangs of kids everywhere, man. This place, Duskfall, is ripe with orphans and
There's no public education.
Yeah.
They don't do anything all day.
Ben is going to try and cohort
Well, please be very careful with how you word this. I do not want to get Council of 9
We're live,
struck from
we're
Twitch.
I want to go find some kids and tell them to come to our
Bilbo,
house.
stop!
Our
He wants
warehouse.
to tell him about this really cool ghost place that ghosts are fighting at, and how cool it'd be if more people showed up.
Cobb, you had something to
That's
say
just
about that?
Tell
Or
them
Kyle?
to do it. Just pay
This
them money.
legitimizes the business. The more and more we get into this, I think our business is just
But
Jurassic
if
Park.
Say, let's say this: you're
It
gonna
really
talk
is.
a lot more happily about something if it's something you actually enjoy than you are if you're getting paid.
So a couple things on that, couple things before you go off of that sort of thing. There's plenty of gangs of kids round. One of the big ones round here would be the Silk Sons and Daughters. Like me, like Edric, bastards from out the Silk Shore. And that's fine. They got nothing better to do all day, but they're not. I wouldn't invite them in. They're out making mischief, and a lot of them have taken it on themselves to pinch an extra couple scales for the family bread. If you know what I mean. If you let them all in here, we might find that they cause more mischief than they're worth.
I might echo Cobb's sentiment here, saying that I envy the innocence of youth, and I wouldn't want to take that from them. But I am curious as to why you would want to do this.
I mean,
Cassius, no one on the street here has innocence or youth.
Who
Children
talks more,
do.
who talks more than a bunch of kids interested in something?
Well,
Benjamin's got the 12 to 13-year-old girl market cornered. He's just like, these girls make the TikToks. They know.
But
Not BTS.
they're not interested in. Well, they might be interested in ghost fights, but they're also interested in stealing. I can tell you that for sure. Not just from us, but from our patrons.
Yeah.
If people show up, when people show up to a fight like this, they expect to lose money when they gamble it away. They don't expect to lose money when it's pinched out of their pockets. It's supposed to be more metaphorical-like. And that, I just, I'm not sure it's... Well, what do you even... You just want them to spread the word sort of thing?
Yeah, why not? We need more people on the ground than we've got boots on.
Sure, they'll want coin for that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
And they're not exactly popular. They get into all sorts of trouble. How much do you like it when a gang of kids rolls up, tips your car over, and takes your scales, huh? I don't think their word's gonna be worth all that much.
Cobb, I have a question. What did these kids do to you personally? What happened, Cobb? You can tell us.
I could give you a list, mate.
On the top.
No, I mean, it's not that they did anything to me. I was one of them. I stole. I vandalized. I got beat raw by the bluecoats and the business owners. They're a gang like us. They victimize people.
I don't think we've done any victimizing.
We killed people.
Spirits.
If that ain't victimizing, then I don't know what is.
Cobb, we're scavengers.
Not only did you kill people,
Kill
you ripped their
anyone who
ghosts.
not killed us.
And now
We
you're
are
forcing them
scavengers.
to fight each other for money.
We are merely a hound at tableside begging for scraps. We're not the hunter yet.
You were
The
until
dog
you
took a
killed
man's
the
head off his
Grankle.
shoulders with a hammer. And now we're making him fight his comrade for other people to bet on.
Did you want to stand between him and that
We are
man? I saw
giving,
the look in
we are
his eye.
giving
No.
him another chance at life.
Well, I'm not here to argue ethics or nothing like that. I just figured I would say there are gangs of kids around, but they got their own agenda sort of thing. They're not wide-eyed, innocent little, balls of sunshine. They're ruthless prick bastards like the rest of us, and you gotta treat them as such.
Sure, how about we do this then? Ben can go around with the rooks to the local tenements, and when we offer them the early access to the event, put on the condition that they gotta spread the word to two of their friends.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, if you bring
Yes.
two of your friends,
Well-
your entry's free.
Welcome to gambling. No, we don't do that. No one gets in for
Yeah.
free.
All
What was
right.
that into the mug?
Well,
Oh.
I kind of like the idea. Yeah, but I don't know.
How about
If
half
Vidar
off?
doesn't, then I'm not putting.
All right.
No,
I'm
no
not
one
putting my
gets
foot
in
down
for free.
nothing.
No,
No, I'm saying half off now.
No, no one gets in for a discount.
no bloody kids. All right. It's not an environment for kids. We're already fearing for our own lives. I don't want to bring somebody's child in here, even if they don't know their parents. All right. Right? All right, wonderful.
I'm not
moving
saying
back.
shit. This is entirely up to you guys.
I'm gonna go back and go meet with Cersei.
Okay.
Find out a little bit about what she can offer us for tonight, or if she'd be willing to spread some of the word. So I'm gonna go do some of my own advertisements, and hopefully spread the word. I'll be back here in a few hours, hopefully.
Okay.
And then
So everybody's got some stuff they're working on. Does anyone feel partial to going first, or should I roll for it? What do you guys think?
roll for it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I don't feel like any of it's really contingent, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. It'll all happen simultaneously anyways. So let's just roll fortune and see what we get.
Golbo, Jacob, Kyle, me.
Yep, just an order of how it's streamed. And if we get a 5 or a 6, we roll it. Are you re-rolling? Or am I
You can just
rolling?
do /roll 1d4.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot this is just roll 20.
No, this
It's
is
so hacked. I love it.
Use
So.
honestly, using the on the top left the roll tables, that's the big W. If you're using those.
Oh, I never touched
Oh, that's
those
more like
things.
a-
All right, so we're going to the tenements first.
Oh, wonderful.
So the way the rooks split up, and obviously this is at your discretion, but this is where they naturally go to. Hugo pairs off with Cassius since it's his head if Cersei's pissed at it. So Hugo and Cassius take off. Louise actually wants to hang back with Vidar and help reinforce some things. You didn't ask her to do that. You wanted to send her away, so that's up to you, Vidar. And Doer wants to go with Ben to hit the tenements up. Any changes to that, or?
I want to personally roll fortune and see on a 1 to 3 he does not think that there's anything weird about that, and he like has some camaraderie with her, and then on a 4 to 6 he's like, wait, we're gonna fuck these people over, you know, they're not our ally.
Sure.
Why does she want to stay behind? I'm gonna keep an eye on her.
Okay.
That's I want to roll fortune for
Rolling for your own perception on things. I love it. I'm gonna start doing that.
that one. Okay, he does not think
Very
anything
nice
of it.
comrade.
He's he's happy to, she nodded earlier at his comment, so he's just happy to have her there.
Sure. Yeah. And we'll get some RP for that when we come around to your little segue here. All right, let's do some segues, ladies and gentlemen. So Ben, you take off with Doer Grinder. Pale skin, bloodshot eyes with the veins, trickling down his cheeks from working in the Viathan factory. He's very quiet. Hugo and Louise are usually the ones talking. And you guys hit the streets. Any particular direction you want to go? You want to hit the dispatch? You want to hit just the docks where the boats are? Factories, pubs?
We're gonna hit the docks for certain.
Okay.
Just because that is a very local area, so getting.
And you're familiar with it
convincing
too.
them- Yeah. And in addition, possibly heading down to the night market and see if anyone there might have some sayings.
So the night market is a hell of a long way away. So it would take you a few hours.
Okay.
But you could go there.
I mean, what? So what? Like, how long till the event starts?
I mean, you have the day.
Yeah.
Today? Okay. Spread the word as far and wide.
It's doable. It's doable.
Yeah. Spread the word far and wide.
Cool. So you guys hit the docks. This honest doer kind of looks to you to sort of lead this initiative. As he's so sort of quiet. You guys hit the docks. People are working, singing shanties, throwing rope to each other, throwing crates to each other.
Chatting up some of the people that I've helped
painting
ship.
boats, just that kind of thing. You maybe see a face or two that's familiar to you. sharpening harpoons. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
what else do people do at docks.
Tying knots.
They sing shanties.
Yeah, I said that. First thing I said was they're singing shanties.
No, they're tying knots.
Yeah, tying knots. There you go. Tying knots, painting boats, scrubbing decks.
Scrubbing poop
Just a
decks.
bunch of genuine swashbucklers. How do you go about it? How do you do some advertising?
I'll start with any of the boats that I've helped prepare for seaworthiness. I don't know how many or how often that
For
was,
a month?
but
I mean, you just lent yourself to whoever pulls up in port, usually, right? One of the
Yeah.
basically you and a bunch of other Scav and no impoverished Akarosi go over and say, offer work to anyone that wants it. So
I'll be going up to the ones that I've talked to or crews that I know of at least a little bit and talking to them, telling them about the wonderful event of these ghosts just hashing it out in this ring, and they are just going to go buck fucking wild. You gotta see this. It is the craziest thing.
make a roll of some sort you choose.
I will choose the sway.
Sure. Let's just see how this plays out. Risky limited. Or risky standard, excuse me. I just was reading that.
Hey, I'll take it.
5. Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
So yeah, they seem into it. A bunch of dockers, in between throwing crates to each other, and I just want to keep listing chores for docks because it's really fun.
Making sure the ropes are fastened.
Yep. Polishing
all the
swords,
all the nets
draining
are
hoses. They seem interested. They get a little excited about the notion. They start asking you questions, where and when, and you're able to detail
all that.
this evening. You're able to detail the location of the warehouse. Doer, pretty unhelpful.
I've got some side chatter on the way down to night market.
Sure. This goes well. You're definitely gonna have some patrons from what you can tell. Flashing over. Let's roll a D3 now with the remaining players. A 2. That would be Cobb. So Cobb, we're gonna do some alchemical preparations of some nature. Do you start in the warehouse with Vidar and Louise still there, or do you hit the occult shop? Where do you head?
It's a good question. I'm not bashful. Yeah, I'll start with Vidar and all still there with what I have to work with.
Sure. You probably have some black salt. You probably have a spirit bane charm of your own. Anything else that I should know about?
My equipment, I have arcane implements as part of the standard equipment. I don't know exactly what that entails.
Sure.
But
How would you like to style them? I
doing
can
some
tell you.
work with that.
Arcane implements, huh? Let's check it out. Vial of Quicksilver. Oh yeah, that's just like anything that is like Quicksilver, Black Salt, Spirit Anchor, that type of thing.
Okay. I guess I will be working on wards and stuff, a circle of black salt around the fence, inside the fence. I don't want anyone to scuff it or anything.
Sure.
Some chalk sigils and all of that. And I'm just sort of like, I'll make the circle, add a couple details, and then step inside it and try to sense outward and see how effective a barrier it is.
Sure.
And then step out, make a couple more tweaks.
Yeah, roll me an attune for
Or
both
attune, yeah.
both the setup that you provide as well as your analysis of it.
Okay, you want 2?
Would you like to do it as 2, or would you like to do 1 for each? I'll give you the opportunity to choose.
I'll do 1. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Ask what the devil's bargain is.
What is the peony?
Risky standard.
Okay.
Come.
I will go ahead and push it. That's 2 stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Come
I will
on,
push it.
Cobb.
For an extra dice.
4.
Not awesome, but
Not awesome,
that's okay.
but that's
Roll me fortune as well.
Did you put it on a broken beam?
Just one dice.
Yep, just one. It's more of a this or that type thing for me. So 4.
Oh, it rolled 2.
But
Sorry.
it's
Oh no, 0.
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah, but you're
0.
supposed to have rolled 1. It must
Sure,
have just
take the first one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it must have just done something weird. Yeah, we'll go with the 4. Like I said, this is not so much like this is more of a this or that for me. It's a coin flip.
Sure.
So you're doing some preparations, laying down the things that you had described. Essentially, you think you've done a pretty decent job of controlling the immediate area. Where you think an issue might come in is dealing with the energy field coming in of all the people drunk and arguing and gambling and just a lot of energy. You don't think your current alchemical preparations will hold underneath that amount of pressure. If it was just to be you and like a crowd of 20, you've got this in the bag. But this place is sized for, and you're anticipating a much larger crowd with that. But as far as the powerful spirits risk, you think you've got them at least contained within that black salt and the other arcane implements you've used.
Okay, so I think that, like, if everything goes to plan, it should be fine. But if things get extreme, there might be some problems.
Yes. If the crowd gets out of hand,
Sure.
Or
just something to keep an eye
yeah,
on.
any unforeseen circumstance is going to throw a serious monkey wrench. Is basically your assessment.
Okay. The grinders, do I know if they have any whispers, like, on staff or whatever?
You haven't met one or heard of one taught. It doesn't seem likely to you. There is an occultist shop in the area, though. Let me get the name of that for you. The Skeleton's Closet. And basically, it's a person that supplies the ships, the whispers that go out onto ships. It's somebody that you had, done some preliminary negotiations with when the scale was sort of up and coming. And you might be able to go there, get some extra supplies, maybe hire some help.
Could you say that name again? The Skeleton?
The Skeleton's Closet.
Skeleton's Closet. Nice.
Yes. And his name is Pierre.
Okay.
I forgot what I wrote.
I'll think on it.
Sure, I forgot what I wrote. That it was supposed to be funny. Yeah, so that's an option for you, but yeah, that's where you're currently at.
Sure.
We'll go ahead and just do a coin flip between Vidar and Cassius. Vidar being 1, Cassius being 2.
Yes, that is me.
Yes, coin flip.
All right.
Vidar.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, Cassius is definitely the most tense, so that kind of works out pretty
I have
cinematically.
a long walk as well.
Maybe not as long as Ben. All
Maybe
right.
it feels a little longer though with the broken or the sprained
Sure.
leg.
So Vidar, you and Louise set to work. She pretty much just follows you wherever you go. She has procured some tools of her own. Upon closer inspection, you also see that she has, the pale skin, the bloodshot eyes, the streaks going down of her veins from working in Viathan refineries. She is armed to the teeth as always, and it seems pretty strong as she works hammers with you. What reinforcements are you looking to do again for me?
Yes. So I'm basically trying to treat this like it's like it's a camp, like it's a military camp.
Mm-hmm.
So my points of entry, my points of exit. I want to, know where where the money's going to be held. I want to know where our information is being kept, where the drink supplies are being kept, all that sort of stuff. And double check that all those areas have some form of physical separation from the general area.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure the front's reinforced, but there is a back exit that only we are aware of in case we do need to slip out. And then, are there any windows for this area?
Yes, good question. So the windows are on like what basically would be the third story of the warehouse. They are glass panel windows. They let in no light because it is dark. But they are there to almost like you can see the light of the warehouse from outside. And they open to vent in case you're having something in the warehouse that needs to be exhausted. All of the windows are currently shut. You have no way of getting up there as of right now. You would need a ladder of some sort. Or to climb outside the building.
There other buildings around that could look in through them?
Yeah.
Or like a fire escape on the outside of the building that could be used to look into the windows?
No fire escape on the outside of the building. So you and Louise take a walk around the perimeter to take a look at potential risk and just kind of analyzing the windows as you've I zeroed in on them as a potential threat. The building to the south towards the docks, we'll say, since I don't have a map up. It is higher than the warehouse. So if someone were to stand on the roof of that building, you would surmise they'd be able to see in. And because the warehouse is electroplasmically lit, they'd be able to survey pretty much everything going on from that if there was somebody up there. East, west, north, the buildings are smaller than the warehouse level. They're 2-story or lower, and don't have any viewpoint they could potentially see. Of course, anybody could slap a ladder on the side of that and climb up, but there's no fire escapes or anything like that.
Okay, so building across, only one building from one side that can look in.
Yes, the other ones are smaller.
Okay. And does that building have, roof access, basically?
You would assume. There's not like a fire escape.
I want to go and check it out.
Sure, so you want to go
see if I
go
can
inside
get to the other roof.
Want to go inside the building?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. It's a tenement, so it's not like, anything too crazy. You can walk right into it. You see that, the classic Duskfall style of housing in here where everyone's stacked on top of each other. Rooms are incredibly small, so as you walk through the hallways and go up the stairs, presumably, you see doors are way closer than you think they should be based on the apartments that you and I are comfortable with.
I'm moving like this.
Right, you take 2 strides and you pass 2.5 doors basically on either side of the hallway. Yes, coffin apartments. As you make your way up to the top, you see a door that is assumingly roof access and it is chain locked.
Okay, can I make a?
Sounds like a
Can
wreck.
I make a survey?
Or no,
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
see if it's legit or if it's just there for show.
Oh, the lock? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Flash the 5. Yes.
Hey.
So yeah, you and Louise work on it. You give it a tug. You see if the door just swings open, anyways, with the lock just on it for show. It's legitimate. It's probably put there by the landlord to stop people from going on the roof who should not be on the roof from your summation.
Okay, I want to find someone on the floor that leads to the roof. I want to find an older, maybe an old drunkard. I want to find them, and I want to proposition them. I'll give them a case of fucking moonshine from our stash that we're bringing tonight, to watch that passageway, and if they see people going up to it, to come down and tell us.
I have a very important question. What is your strategy for finding said character?
I knock on doors, and every time someone answers, I appraise if they're an old drunk. If they aren't, I say sorry, and I go to the next one.
People are slow to answer. Do you say anything when you knock? Just
No.
By order of the people.
Well,
okay.
assumingly this area has been canvassed.
Don't say police.
What do you mean?
I don't fucking say anything. Well, I sent one of the rooks to go talk to everyone and let them know what's going on.
Oh.
In these nearby tenements.
Gotcha. Well, you're not sure to their effectiveness, but just sort of knocking on the door.
Yes, I just keep knocking.
Okay, roll me fortune. Roll me fortune. Let's see if anybody cracks open. Give me 2 dice on that. You got an intimidating knock. You got
It's the easiest double six.
Nice.
Goddamn right I
do. All right. Yes.
Oh.
So the thunder that emits from your knock eventually rouses someone to your description. An elderly Skav man opens the door. He goes, "Are you the landlord?"
No, but I would like to proposition you.
Okay. He looks back.
Right. So you see over there.
He looks over your shoulder at Louise.
Oh, yeah.
Looks a little intimidating because she's
Good. They should be aware.
wearing a lot of weapons.
Yes. So you see the staircase over there that leads to the to the roof. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I don't know if you've been told or not, but in the warehouse there's going to be a bit of a ruckus. I would like you. I'll pay you in true Scottish moonshine, mushroom shine, to watch that staircase there. And if you see anyone coming up it, you come down to the ruckus and you let me know.
Okay.
I'll pay you a little bit of scale, but mostly in the good mushroom shine.
Seems like a good deal. Where do I find you?
Oh, you'll be able to pick me out to the crowd.
Okay. He shuts the door.
Before he shuts the door, I stop it with my
Okay.
fist.
Okay.
And I lean in and I go, "Now we've been struck a deal here. And if I find out that the old Scov drunk is asleep on the job, well, you know that isn't how we honorable Scov work, is it?"
Roll me whatever the hell is intimidate command with
Command.
a bonus
Command.
with a bonus dice.
Risky standard?
Controlled great.
You love to see it.
There it is.
Nice.
Okay.
This poor guy.
He nods. Okay, I understand.
I nod and go, "Good, I knew I saw a good Scov when I knocked on this door."
Make sure you grab your XP for that. Same with Cobb with your alchemical preparations. Make sure you grab your XP
Oh,
for that,
that
as well.
was coercion, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right, yep. So I got myself a little lookout there, and then I go back down and do the rest of the stuff that I did.
Hold on. Let me take note of that.
I guess, do you want me to still roll for the rest of the stuff?
No, we'll go ahead and segue to get to Cassius, and then we'll come back and take a break, and then we'll do this thing. But awesome. So Cassius, you and Hugo take off. Hugo, the brother, the talkative brother, begins to ask you lots of questions. Well, Cassius, I gotta say, it's pretty weird to see an Akarosi gentleman like yourself down here at the docks, doing business like this. Usually this is Scov work. What are you doing? How'd you end up down here?
Right, it's Sylvester Stallone.
I am not gonna make eye contact with him and keep walking and say, "It is weird, isn't it?"
Definitely weird. No, I'm theory Sylvester Stallone. Definitely weird. Well, I'm really interested that you chose the grinders to work with. We, typically people think of us as kind of a nasty bunch, but I don't think so. I think we could be a lot better than that.
Well, don't always judge a book by its cover.
That's what I say. People look at me and they see these eyes and the same pigment, bloodshot eyes, veins protruding. They see these eyes and they get all scared and they think that I'm gonna beat them up. But no, man, that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to earn our coin the same way an Akarosi nobleman would. Game the system.
Of course. If you've talked to who I've talked to, you'd know the prettiest eyes are the most dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I guess. I don't know. I don't see a lot of pretty eyes down here.
Well, hopefully, you don't ever.
Oh, I could stand for someone pretty every once in a while. I bet you've had pretty lasses in your day, eh?
A few.
Man, reminds me of when I was a boy. Same here.
Well then, where are we headed to, Hugo?
He takes you down towards sort of the corner of the docks where you can actually see the district across. I forget what that's called. For some
Not
reason.
Crow's Foot.
No, it's across. It's across the water. They're not in Crow's Foot.
Okay.
You're not in this district, to be clear. This is just across the water. It's where the Immortal Emperor has his stronghold.
Is that White Crown?
Yes, I think that's what it's
Okay.
called. Yes, I don't have the map up in front of me. I
W.
apologize. So yeah, White Crown. You can see that from there. Across, from your view, there's a lot of different like almost restaurant style places to dine here, where you can see across. They're not fancy or anything like that, but just a little bit more focused on the eating part than a pub would normally be. And you walk into one of them. There's not even like a sign on the door or anything like that. It's just sort of like a marina dining place where captains might take, some of the crew members or partners, business partners, and dine with them. You've never been in here before. You walk in, it's lit with alchemical lamps. These ones are interesting because they have dimmers on them, on shaders, so they actually brighten the alchemical glow so it's not so blue-green and creepy. It's actually almost like lamplight that you and I would see, produced by alchemical or electroplasm, so it's not necessarily like candlelit either. So you walk in, people are dining, they're actually eating off proper plates. And not
This place is weird. I don't like it.
they're eating off proper plates. Most of the people, the clientele, it's pretty early still, so it's just captains getting a late breakfast, going over plans, charting paths. Nothing seems too interesting to your eye. And he takes you to sort of a back room, or not really a back room, but like a private booth. Sort of seems to be Cersei's thing. She gets a booth. And
Tables are weird. I don't trust people who get tables at restaurants. Booths only.
And she watches you come up. She kind of scowls for a moment. She goes, "Cassius, I wasn't expecting you today." And leans back.
I just wanted to come and say hello for a bit.
And this numbskull took you right to me. He goes, "Hey, thought you weren't gonna call me that, Cersei." "Well, you are a numbskull," she retorts back. "Cassius, what's going on? I'm busy today."
We have a fight tonight, and I was wondering if
It's
you could.
finally time.
I was wondering if you could drop a line to your subordinates and let them know to spread the word. It won't cost you anything. You can do whatever you need to do today. But
She goes and like blows her hair out of her face and says, "Immortal Emperor, you guys choose just terrible times to do things, eh? Like this, today's the day for the fight? Really? Has to be?"
yes, our product is tentative on how fidgety it is.
I wondered how that all worked. I thought you had a guy for that.
We do, and he tells us the fight is tonight.
Oh, so he calls the shots, huh? That's the wiry one.
The product calls the shots.
Sure. You notice she's drinking as always. But she goes to greet you, and this is interesting. The two men flanking her, who are the same men who flanked her before, actually help her up. Cersei has a cane. She appears to not be able to use her legs. And they set her into a bit of a chair at the front, and she says, "So what exactly do you need from me?"
Well, I just need you to talk to some of your men and women. Just tell them about the fight tonight. We want to get a good crowd and want to make sure grinders know about it. We've already gone to some of our own means to advertise the event, but figured your word's stronger than any.
Well, we're all so bloody excited for this, and I genuinely mean that. I know my tone it might be terse, but we have a bit of a job to pull, and it's in no small part to the information you provided us.
Well, what kind of job, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I do mind you asking, but we'll be dealing with some coats.
My tone's going to grow a little bit more stern and say, well, frankly, that information was given to you by us.
And you've received payment for it.
That's true. Just like to know my business partners.
And you do.
Oh, seems like there's some backdoor dealings, though.
And you're going to pretend you don't have any?
Oh, I'm not pretending. That's why I'm asking.
And I'm telling you it doesn't concern you.
All right.
Was there anything else?
Not really,
My
but
guess.
not really. Just, if anything pertains us, just let us know.
The Whisper will be the first to know, I assure you.
All right, understand it. But we do have your word on spreading the word tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We are all waiting to see, like I said, we're all very excited to see what this is all about after I had a couple men watch that first one. Can't wait to see what you do with the proper venue. Thanks for the follow. I see you there.
Splendid. But anyways, yeah, I think that should be suffice. I should ask you though, is there any way you can make an appearance tonight?
Oh, I intend to. If things go well, I'll do my best to make my way down there. As you can see, I'm not the most mobile of women, but I get around all the same.
Right. Well, is there any way we can reach out to you? Good place to contact if things are going fine. Just to let you know it's still going.
She takes a sip of her ale and she goes, well, the numbskull seems to know where to find me wherever I am, despite my best efforts. So you can just ask Hugo here and he'll tell you. Hugo goes, hey, no calling the numbskull. Okay, I'm a valued member of this team.
Well, he's a perceptive tracker, I'll give him that. But that's all I really needed to know. Have a good one. And I'm gonna walk out.
May your enemies' gunpowder be wet and their swords be blunt, Cassius.
I'm out. Okay.
All right, excellent.
She's gonna fuck up whatever she's trying to do, and I'm gonna get ass blasted by it. It's gonna happen.
Excellent. We'll go back to Ben. Ben, throughout the day, you have made your way to Night Market, the bustling city that I think all of you have actually seen in different scenes, so I don't really need to go through and describe it too much. The Commerce Center, people are selling, every which type of thing. It's not really gentrified like the other parts of the other merchant districts of Duskfall. It is, the people's commerce at this point. Everyone's got booths set up, tent, lamps lit up over their tents so you can see them. It's always busy. And you and your somewhat silent companion show up, or mostly silent companion show up.
All right. I noticed you've been a bit quiet. Anything on your mind?
Doer looks at you and he goes, nope, just following orders.
Alright, well, if we're gonna be here putting out the word, I heard that there's this group called the Hive or something like that that might know, might be good at putting out the word. You know where we might find them?
He looks at you, shrugs, says, I don't know anything about a Hive.
Damn it. Alright, I'm gonna go around to I'm gonna be going around to the vendors here asking, talking about talking about the event that we're hosting tonight, but also asking if anyone knows about the Hive.
You're gonna straight up ask people if they know about the Hive. Let me just get that. Let me
If they
get
know
that
how to
clear.
get in contact with the Hive.
Oh, we got an octopus.
I don't know-
Make the you guys have to build an octopus
No,
together.
it's like a secret society. As far as I'm aware, this is a fucking mail service.
I told you earlier, I would help you. I would help.
All right.
I know, but
all right.
this is-
Cool.
free time.
No, we're doing this. So you're just gonna talk to merchants or crowdspeople? Let me get that clear.
Little bit of both.
Okay, a little bit of both. You want to lead with the Fright Night, or do you want to lead with the Hive? Do you want to mix it up?
Yeah, I'll mix it up. Like some people I'll start with the Hive, and then some people I'll start with the Fright Night.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know what will get people's to like stop talking to you right away.
Roll me something. We did sway for the first one, so we're gonna do sway again.
All right.
Roll me sway. And we're gonna do a similar thing we did to Vidar after, where we're gonna roll fortune as well.
Could I push myself for the sway?
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful.
Spam the fish to help Cassius.
And a sway roll with a bonus die.
I thought I heard actual dice
All right,
roll.
all right.
Four.
We got it. We got it.
I accidentally did.
I was like, wow, Roll20's got a new plugin where it gives that, like,
Oh, that would be great.
yeah.
Dude, just the sound of dice rolling is all you need.
Yeah, just the metal die hitting a wooden dice box.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, all right.
Yeah, that right there.
4. Okay, partial success. So yeah, concoct this strategy. Doer again must just be the worst of the grinders to have gone with you on this of the 3. Does not help in any way, shape, or
like,
form.
Hey, ain't that right? As I point to him, and he's just like, yeah.
Basically. You canvass the streets here. I liked that word Bilbo used earlier, doing the same thing, trying to spread the message. Everyone's a little busy, and this is you know that feeling when you go grocery shopping in Meyer and there's way too many people there. That's what night market feels like. And so everyone's just trying to get to and fro, remembering what to buy. So you have some people that give you a look. However, when you ask about the hive, crowds people don't really know. Like, you're just kind of stopping people almost like a peddler, or not a peddler, a husker would, and trying to say like, hey, we have this thing going on tonight. You should check it out in the docks. And then you say, also, by the way, do you know anything about the hive operating in this area? Crowds people have no clue. They have no idea you're talking. They give you very similar responses to what Doer said to you. They're twins. I don't know if I ever said that. Hugo and Doer are twins, so I mix them up in my head a lot. Yeah, so Doer gives you an answer that pretty much covers most of the people in the crowd. The merchants, however, are suspiciously quiet for the most part. Most of them nod. Some of them just say, no, I have no idea. Most of them just kind of like, who doesn't know? And just kind of shrug their shoulders and just go back to selling whatever they're selling. Smoked eel, maybe. Those types of things.
All right. You know what? Why the fuck not? I am going to. Are there barrels in the night market?
Certainly.
All right. I am going to find a barrel that is not immediately in use, I'll say. And I'm going to stand on it and basically try to rally a crowd.
Okay, so there's no just stray barrels. So
I know we're not on a score right now.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I should flashback for Ben that the last time he and Cobb were in the night market, Cobb gave him a very intense
No names
description.
to witches. I got that.
No, that the blue coats in the night market are a different breed than down in the docks. They are stricter, they are quicker to use violence, they are less discriminating, they are,
And wow, an excellent callback to your session 0, by the way. I applaud you on your memory for that. Yes, the night market blue coats are vicious.
Okay.
He gets the barrel ready and just looks at it.
Cobb's words come echoing back into his head.
No stress. That's just good.
Are theatrics big in the night market?
Please elaborate on theatrics.
Of the times I have been to the night market, have I ever seen anyone putting on some sort of a performance and or play?
Oh, there's huskers. There's people playing their music or singing or, I don't think a full-on or busker, yeah, whatever you call them.
So the word I think you used earlier is huckster. And then busker is some person playing music.
That one.
And a husker is someone from Nebraska.
Husker Du is a jam band from the 90s.
All right, and a didgeridoo is a big tube that you play.
Of course.
All right.
I thought we were doing a bit. Yeah, there are no plays going on. If you want to emulate a town crier, that's probably the closest thing that'll find to what you're looking for. Okay, yeah. Yes. Those guys normally have bells that ring out at a different pitch than a blue coat bell. It's a thud more than a ting.
All right. I did not specify what I was going out as. Which would you like me to clarify that now?
What do you mean?
Like light, normal, heavy.
God, I hope we don't need it. But yeah, you
Yeah.
can you can reasonably say that you have whatever load you want.
Yeah. All right. I'll say light because I'm not here for. I'm just here to spread the word mostly.
Yes, you, the Taishiroshi dude with the bandaged arm.
Yeah. I'm going to with the. Would you say the subterfuge supplies might have some sort of a bell? Not necessarily a crier bell, but a bell.
I have a list of the stuff that's in the subterfuge supplies.
What's in it? I don't have it ready.
It's a theatrical makeup kit, a selection of blank documents ready for the forger's hand, costume jewelry, a reversible cloak, and distinctive hat, and a forged badge of office.
None of those really sound like a bell to me.
I have that in my list because I use those often.
Yeah, I would say probably not for subterfuge.
That would be really stupid to do. We're not doing that.
Fires a gun straight in the air. This will only take a second.
Listen up, motherfuckers!
Instantly arrest.
No, I'm going to go ahead and remember some of my arcane implements.
Okay.
That has just a very handful of hodgepodge stuff that don't entirely know what it does, but Cobb has taught me a little bit of what they do.
Sure.
And I'm basically going to try and snake oil salesman people and talk about how all of these things will be in the Fright Night tonight. As kind of like a selling point. Like, these are some of the ghosts that will be in the Fright Night tonight.
Okay, are you still going with your little barrel tactic, or?
No, this is more like localized vendor thing. Like anyone who's like walking by and might hear like keywords or something.
Sure, yeah. While they have stalls, it is very, very common practice in night market to have what they call a spinner, where they send somebody up, almost like a sign spinner, to go hit the other districts and be like bread or like jewelry at this, 2 rows over, and like sell a little bit on the road. So yeah, you could.
Guys for pizza places.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what they are. So yeah, you could easily pull out some black salt in some, spirit bottles or maybe a vial of quicksilver and just show it around,
Yeah. Come one, come all, Fright Night tonight. A grand gesture of ghosts duking it out to see who stays alive.
Sure. You yell it out, people look at you and walk by or take notice for longer than a few seconds and continue to move on. A little scared of the Taishiroshi screaming about ghosts fighting, but nevertheless intrigued.
Well, I got a little bit of what I was here for, but nothing extensive, but...
Patience, my child.
Yep.
The hive will make itself known, I'm sure. So yeah, good with that.
Yep.
Excellent. Cobb, did you want to do anything else for arcane implements?
Yeah,
before we
I guess
trigger
I
score?
will hit up the skeleton's closet.
Sure.
So Cobb's sheet, I don't have anything in my stash or coin.
You have enough scale to make a purchase,
Sure.
as
okay.
I've been told by the friendly folks over at the subreddit.
Yeah, right. It's assumed you've got pocket change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess.
If you want to blow a coin, you can get some serious stuff.
Right. That's more what I was thinking.
More than one way to skin a cat, my friend. You got a lot of options.
Yeah, I'll fuck. You know what? Yeah, okay. I will head over to the skeleton's closet and talk to Pierre.
Yep. All right. So the skeleton's closet is only a few streets over. It is sort of propped up on the street across from Ink Lane, actually, where everyone gets their really cool tattoos. Um, the skeleton's closet is on a street where it's almost like anything you can think of. It's like a strip mall to put on a ship. It's there, right? So you can buy rigging, you can buy food, you can buy a whole bunch of different things, right? And so this is the skeleton's closet is actually a well-renowned establishment where people buy all sorts of things to repel Leviathans or the void sea insaneness that happens. Try to change the weather to their will, which I don't think anyone has a solid plan for that, but it's basically where you go for anything occult that you might need upon a ship. You have met Pierre in the past, so you walk in and see him. He is a abnormally tall person, nearly 7 feet. He has olive skin. His head is shaved. He wears robes, decorated in Spirit Bane, Demon Bane charms, elaborately encrusted with different metals to sort of just give sort of the air of some money. Along the way you see just, strange, almost like Madame Raz's shop, just different things in jars. These ones are actually clearly labeled though, as if it's, you walk in, you grab a couple things off the shelf, set them on the counter and get pretty much run up there. He notices you, gives you a friendly nod, a quiet person for sure, if you remember correctly, and you are amongst the toys.
Okay. Do I know offhandedly whether this particular shop has any affiliation with the Grinders or the Dockers? Not necessarily that they have like exclusivity or anything, but do they pay protection to anyone? That sort of thing.
They must be within the Dockers dominion, you think, just underneath Helker and things like that, because they are. It's God's awful luck to go out without these types of arcane implements.
Sure.
So it's like it's necessary to have one of these shops propped up. So you would assume that they're in bed with the Dockers, but not not in a way that like they're paying protection. It's just they pay a cut, they get to have their shop that close to the water.
Sure.
Basic real estate agreement.
Okay. So I'll get Pierre's attention and just strike up a conversation. Hey, you might remember me. I was working with the Scale Venture before that went up. I think we've still got some of your goods lying around the ship, or what's left of it, and that.
He goes, "Yes, Cobb, right? Marigold? I remember you."
Yeah, that's one.
Excellent.
Right. And I'm sure you heard what happened to the Scale and all that. Terrible shame. But the thing is that what's left of us, we figured that we had our hands on some good resources. We had good people, good supplies, not for least part because of you. I mean, basically what I'm saying is some of the stuff that we bought off you for Whalen, it's going towards other uses these days, and it's working excellently. We've got an agreement with Elka, and we're running a spot of entertainment at the warehouse down at the docks. But I was wondering if you'd help us re-specialize. Some of the resources we bought, we were intending for Whalen, and now we've got some other things going on, and just taking an inventory and such. It seems like we're short in a few places. I'm sure a man like you knows a good business opportunity when he sees one, and so I was hoping that you could maybe give us a spot of help with the resources that we might be short, or just casting a discerning eye over what we've got so far, and we'll make it known that all the wondrous and effective supplies and implements seen at our shows come courtesy of the one and only Skeleton's Closet sort of thing.
He considers your offer for a moment. And he goes, "My expertise and services are yours, Master Cobb. For coin, of course."
Sure, well, oh, Trevor was here and now he's gone.
A couple times now. It's like that movie. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Sure, well, I suppose I can't just get you to close up shop right now. I wouldn't expect that of you. Do you have someone with an eye for the arcane type of thing? I just need a quote, if you would. Someone to cast an eye over something. I'm not exactly sure what I need yet. Just a second opinion in that.
He looks down, shakes his head for a second. He says, "There is no one else, Master Cobb. It is just me. But I would be able to go appraise your situation. I do not wish to turn the business opportunity, as you've described, down so easily. And no one has come into the shop for quite some time. I do not think the watches are right today for voyage. I'd be happy to accompany you to the shop." And he closes the ledger.
Well, sure. Come along then. Come along.
Sure. He closes a ledger. You guys walk out the shop. He carefully locks the door behind him, flips a out for lunch sign of some sort.
Gone fishing.
Yeah. It's a whale. It's a Viathan. Oh, man, that's too good. That's definitely on Helker's door, not not Pierre's.
He looks at it every day and laughs a little bit.
Just a little
No
bit.
one else thinks it's funny.
Yes. And yep, he accompanies you. And he says, "So you are doing," on the way there, he says, "So you are doing entertainment now, Master Cobb."
Right, yeah. You know, see, the thing is, with the scale, we had preparations to deal with the supernatural and the natural. We had some skilled craftsmen and tradesmen and all that, and we figured even if we couldn't be out on the void, we could still be using those things to make some coin. So I'm not sure if you've heard the word round or not, but we're running these Fright Nights now. Spot of entertainment, a fighting ring sort of thing with a supernatural twist.
He looks at you with very concerned eye, and he goes, "By the forgotten gods, are you fighting spirits?"
Well,
He doesn't stop walking with you, though. It's important to note he continues to walk with you.
Yeah, it's something like that. Well, we got this Skov with us, and he's very romantic about the whole thing. Believes in an honorable afterlife and all that. And so what we do is, according to the ancient Skov traditions, I'm assured, we take two spirits, what would just be turned to dust by the spirit wardens, and we give them a chance to fight for honor and freedom and all that. Not everybody wins naturally, but I'm assured that it's all honorable and right and all that. And the ones what win, they get to go about their business, at least until the spirit wardens catch up with them.
Is that what you believe, Master Cobb? That it is all tradition and nicety? He's curious, genuinely. I don't know if I came through in my tone. Not so
Sure.
much like condescending.
Well, I don't know about all that. In my experience, the other side and this side, they aren't as far apart as all that. And I think, life is just making a scale here and there where you can. So tradition and honor and all that, I don't know so much, but I don't see what we're doing here as any much different than the grinders do with their shipments, than all the other vice dealers do in the city. It's all, coin at someone else's expense and that.
On that, Master Cobb, you and I agree, I think. And then you guys arrive at the warehouse at that point, and are able to go over some things. Anything you want to show him in particular or ask him in particular?
Yeah, so if it comes, I suppose I want to get his opinion on the security we've got, just sort of a second opinion, how he thinks it'll hold up, how likely he thinks it is that it would fail.
Sure. Yeah.
Or unlikely, hopefully.
He'll offer that with zero persuasion. So you watch him work. He analyzes, as you probably point out to him, what you've got down already. Different runes drawn up on different parts of the building, trying to sort of build a container for latent occult energies. The black salt ring acting as a barrier, working in the ghost field to try and keep people from or ghosts from pushing out of it. He goes a couple things. So he goes, the first thing we need to do is add more black salt, a lot more. Around the doors and the windows would be nice as well, because the spirits, they are able to push up, I think, and we need to keep them in all places. The second thing, spirit anchors. If we are able to put some anchors in the middle of the ring, you would be able to restrict the movement, I think, of the spirits, and their boxing. He moves his hands sort of silly, very silly. He's a very gawky, very tall man. That restrict their movements a little bit. It may not be the best thing for the spectators in terms of entertainment, but it would be the best thing for your spectators in terms of personal safety. Other than that, you might want to have another whisper, as you might call them, working with you, if you are the only one, because that means that someone else can help control the energy as well as the spirits floating around the room. I myself am somewhat interested in this, but I fail to see how you make coin from this, Master Cobb.
Well, you've got two questions and I've got one answer, and his name is Cormac O'Dirty. You might have, if you spent enough time in the underworld, that name might mean something to you.
I have not. I assure you I am above the board businessman.
Sure, he's a senile old Dagger Islander, but he's been making coin in the underworld for longer, and neither of us have been alive. Maybe put together. A gambler is his thing, but with a sensibility for the arcane. And so he sets our odds. We take bets, and he makes sure we turn a profit. And he's also arcane inclined, like you and me. So he can lend a hand with that sort of thing as well.
I see. So just the supplies then. Do you wish to pay upfront? Or you said something about shares in this venture of some sort? I think. Sure.
So I out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give away too many. We've only got so much company to go around.
Right. That was kind of what you pitched it as, though.
If you gave away more, we would no longer be the primary shareholders.
You pitched it as a business opportunity, so I guess that's why he's poking around that type of thing.
So what I want to offer more is
advertising, marketing.
Yeah,
right?
like a sponsorship type of.
So
thing.
if you want to pitch that would be probably the first time I would actually have to ask for a sway check, just because that is intangible.
Yes, right. Yeah. That's more what I suppose. Like if the if his shop has like a monopoly on this stuff in the docks, it might be a little trickier proposition. Just because, like, you know, where else are the what's advertising if you're the only
Right.
place to go?
He has, you know,
But,
the medals on his Spirit Bane and Demon Bane charms suggest that money, you know, is not quite an issue for this lad. Not that more money isn't bad, but or is bad, but you know.
Okay, what do you offer the man who has everything?
Nothing.
Nothing. Perfect.
You steal.
I just need a second to think.
I mean, you
Get
could,
creative here.
yeah,
I'm not. I know I can still just like. roll
sure.
the
No,
space
you're
straight up.
welcome to it. I'm not in
But,
any hurry here.
I'm thinking if there's something spicier.
I do love the spiciness.
Kyle will not mechanically cop out. We'll win this with no rules.
He's done very good. I've waited for opportunities to ask for roles, and based on how I've written this character and his Cobb's approach, it's been pretty solid.
Can I make a study check really quick, just sort of through this past half hour of interaction with him to size him up?
Yeah.
What kind of man is he? What do I get the sense he wants? What motivates him?
Sure, and you can increase the effect of that a tier from standard, just because you've done it over the course of a long time.
Nice. I only have one dice in study.
If you want to trade that effect for a die, I'll give you that deal as well.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. So we'll go risky standard with a bonus dice.
Yep.
Nice. Very cool. Pleasure doing business.
6 and a 5. Nice.
Good.
Only gas this session.
So-
Only
Some
gas.
good morphine. Cobb is hot.
Cobb, a student of people with power, his whole life, is able to do pretty well at analyzing, you know, this particular merchant. Pierre seems to be driven mostly out of interest, might be the word. The novelty of your nature. He's very soft spoken, but you can't have. Really, you know, he was willing to close the shop just to look at something like this. You imagine that he has a pretty mundane existence, you know, selling Spirit Bane, Demon Bane charms, Quicksilver, Black Salt to, you know, dockers. So this whole notion of what you're doing is just incredibly intriguing, and probably the most interesting thing he's heard in a long time, especially since Pritchard was bought by the Northup Company. So there's some interesting news happening recently, and this is personally involving him.
Okay. Who's here right now?
Vidar and Louise have not come back just yet. It's just the two of you,
Okay,
so
so
they're
it's
probably
just the
making
two.
their way through the tenements to come back
Okay.
down.
Well, I got some things I think I'd like to discuss with, you know, the rest of the crew before we make any big decisions. You understand it's not just me what's here, and yeah, if you need to get back to the shop, I know where to find you, but if you'd like to stick around and just sort of you know, take it in, I'm sure that that Cormac and I can sort of walk you through it and maybe give you a visual on how things went last time, sort of let you know what to expect.
I see. That sounds agreeable to me, Master Cobb.
Sure. So yeah, I basically just want to stall him until you know, a plurality of the crew gets back and I can discuss
Sure.
the next step.
Excellent.
But in the meantime, I do want to kind of juice him up with Cormac is a flamboyant guy. I want to sort of, you know, feed his excitement if I can, to sort of, you know, wow him with stories and escapades from the first night and see if I can, you know, really get him interested
Stoke
in
the
this.
fire. Yeah, definitely. So let's take a break.
Okay.
and then we'll kind of have a reconvene, and then we'll launch the score. How's that sound to y'all?
Works for me.
Excellent.
good.
Let's meet up at 240.
Okay. Sounds
Take
good.
a solid 13 minutes and then get ready for some heart pounding action. I want nothing but Run the Jewels playing in your headphones for the next 15. All right. I'll see you soon,
right.
stream.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks
viewing.
watching so